What's good, y'all? It's your girl lydcenzo. I'm back in with another banger video. So I've been meaning to film this story time for a really long time, since I was back at school, but the only reason I didn't was because between like April and May I was super busy, and I'm gonna tell y'all why in like a couple videos down the line. But yeah, and then before I knew it I had to move out, so yeah. But this is gonna be my roommate horror story time. I don't know if this is so long that it's gonna be like 2 parts, but it's a lot of things we have to run through. But before we get into that story time, yes, this video is sponsored by Genesis Garb. They sent me 2 items. This first item is a varsity jacket. This is the back. It says perfect on it, and then here's the front. When they sent me the options to pick out, I was really excited to get this one because it says Brooklyn right here, and you know, Brooklyn, like you already know what it is. So I was just super excited to get this one, but unfortunately they accidentally sent me a medium instead of a small, so I won't be able to wear this one. They also sent me this shirt, also in a medium. If you guys would like these items, please just let me know. If anyone's a medium, I will send this to you, like, because I'm too small to fit it. But they sent me this graphic tee, super cute, nothing on the back. But I just want to say both of these items are really good quality, and I'm not just saying that because they're sponsoring this video. Like, they're actually really good material, especially the varsity jacket. Like, it's like, it feels a little heavy, like it just feels expensive. So if you got the coin, go ahead and shop Genesis Garb. These items will be linked down below in the description. You guys can also use my code LYD01 to get a 10% discount off of your order. And yeah, if you want these specific products, I will be putting their links down below, so go check that out. Now to the story time. There's gonna be 4 girls involved in this story time. Hold on, y'all, let me put on some chapstick. There's gonna be 4 girls involved in this story time. Okay, the first girl, we're gonna name her Minnie Mouse, because she was from Minnesota, and like Minnie Mouse, like it goes together in my head, so we're gonna name her that. And I'm still friends with her, so girl, if you're watching this, hey, how you doing? The other girl, we're gonna name her Smalls, because she was really little, like she was just a little girl, like word. And then the other girl, we're gonna name her Jackie, like as in Jackie Robinson, because her real name reminds me of like another baseball player, but I don't want to say it or whatever because it'll give it away. But yeah, we're gonna name her Jackie. And then the last girl, we're gonna name her Belle, because I always told her she gave me like a southern vibe when I met her. So like Southern Belle, we're gonna name her Belle. The way that our apartment was set up, me and Minnie Mouse were on like one side of the apartment, and then we have the living room and the kitchen, and then like you walk past the living room and kitchen, and on the other side you have Smalls and Belle. But we all have our own separate rooms, but Smalls and Belle share their own bathroom, and then me and Minnie Mouse share our own bathroom. So it was this one night, Smalls, Belle, Minnie Mouse, and a few other girls that they had met, because at this point this is like probably like the 2nd week of school. They end up getting ready to go to this party. Of course they invited me out with them, but I wasn't going out with them. I don't know, I just didn't go out with them. So I'm in the shower, I'm blasting my music, like I'm getting ready to go to sleep. The next morning I wake up, Smalls is knocking on my door, and mind you, it's like 7:30 in the morning. She's knocking on my door, waking me up, and she comes in and closes the door, and she's like, so tell me why Minnie Mouse was trying to be funny with you last night. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because as far as I'm concerned, we've only been at school but for so long. So what possible problems could there be? Like it just wasn't adding up. Like it was not making sense to me. It's 7:30 in the morning, so I'm really not in the mood to be trying to figure out who said what, why they said it. Like I'm just like irritated at this point. She's like, well, while you were in the shower last night, one of the other girls had came in and asked Minnie Mouse like, hey, why aren't you ready for the party yet? Like, why aren't you ready to go? She said, I'm not ready yet because somebody's in the shower. So when she tells me that, like, I didn't even give it 2 seconds to think. Like, I just start going off. Like, when I tell y'all, I was yelling mad loud. Like, I was screaming. I was like, this is mad. But whilst I'm yelling, I pick up my phone because at this point I'm thinking Minnie Mouse is already gone in class or something like that. So whilst I start yelling, I pick up my phone and I'm texting her like, is there a problem? Like, I don't even know why I texted her, but I texted her something along those lines. And as I texted her that, she comes out her room, and I didn't know she was there the whole time. It didn't matter to me if she was there or not, because whatever. But she comes out her room whilst I'm yelling all this stuff, and she's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Do we have a problem? And who's and da, da, da. Like, we're both yelling at each other. So I come out my room, we're both in the hallway at this point, and I'm like, I said you're because why are you trying to be funny with me? Like, I don't even know what I was saying. Like, I don't know what I was saying, but I was just yelling. Like, we was just yelling back and forth at each other, whatever. So I'm thinking, like, we about to fight. Like, that's all I'm thinking about. Like, we're about to fight. So I line up in front of her, she's in front of me, and we're just yelling. So I'm just waiting for something to go down, truthfully. And if we would have fought over something like this, I would have been so tight, because truthfully it did not warrant for any of this. Like, it was really my fault, to be honest, that it even escalated like that, because I really did not have to handle it like that. Like, that was very immature of me, no funny. That was very immature. But I was tired. Like, I was not thinking about like everything going down, whatever. So we're yelling back and forth at each other, and at this point she's like, okay, well, we could talk about this, we could finish talking about this when I come back home, because she had to go to class or whatever. So I was like, all right. But before Minnie Mouse could leave the door, Smalls interrupts us yelling at each other, and she's like, Minnie Mouse, I just want to let you know that I have no problem with you personally. I think you're really cool. Like, just being on her, like, just being on her. And I'm looking and I'm just mad confused, because you decide to open your mouth and tell me what you told me. Now all of a sudden you telling her you have no problem. Like, where is this coming from? Like, you must be really guilty right now. It's either that or you're scared of the both of us, because why are you like that? Like, what is that about? Like, I didn't understand that. Like, she was really trying to save herself or something. Like, that's what it was giving me. I end up going to class, and it's like, I go to my, I think it was a 12:30 class, something like that. I think it was a 12:30 class. I know one of my 12:30 class, and here's the receipt, where the receipts come in, because word, I'm not lying about none of this. So yeah, Smalls texts me, and she's like, it's 12:59. This is September. Like, at this point we've only been in school for about 3 weeks, like maybe like a month. Like, we're like, and all of this is going down. Like, what's going on? Like, what's tea? But yeah, so she texts me, she like, my professor talking about New York, and I'm like, what he said? She like, he talking about the people in the fast place, and she was like, are y'all good? So I'm not paying, of course I'm thinking, okay, maybe she just randomly texted me because he was really talking about New York, and you know I'm from New York, so you're trying to relate to me. But I already knew what was coming after that. You was about to ask me what happened, is y'all good, because you trying to figure out what's tea. So I texted her and I was like, I need to speak to you personally, so meet me after class. She like, where? I'm like, I'm in a business building, because that's where my class was at. And I said, where you at? All of a sudden she's like, this shit pushes my anxiety and my nerves to the extreme. I'm by the science building, I might move. So when she tells me she's by the science building, I'm thinking, and she's like, she might move, I'm thinking, oh, you're telling me that you're about to, you know, go to some other building or something like that. Da, da, da. I'm not thinking you telling me you trying to move out. Like, I'm not thinking that. So I'm like, move where? She's like, a different building or room. So I'm like, for what? She's like, because I don't have time for this shit. I'm like, time for what? She's like, this shit with her, I don't like it, and I'd rather take myself away from it. So let's put a pause on this right now. My thing was, like, what was really your beef with her? Like, let's be honest here. Like, what was Smalls' beef with Minnie Mouse? Like, so now when she says this, it was giving me like, oh, so you tried to make it seem like she had a problem with me, so I could start a problem with her, so that everybody in the house could be against her because you don't like her. Like, that's what it was giving. And that's just so so childish to me. Like, why are we even in this predicament right now? Like, I'm like, you know what, if you want to do that, then it's up to you. I still have to speak to you though. Meet me by the library, because you could say what you want to say, but at the end of the day, I told you I need to talk to you, so I'm gonna say what I have to say and you're gonna listen, period. So she's like, okay. I'm like, meet me by the student center. I'm walking that way anyway. She's like, all right. Now I'm not thinking it's about to, nothing is about to go down. Like, I'm not thinking, I'm not on hots, I'm not on none of that. I really just wanted to talk to her, to, like, you know, friend to friend. Like, we had that type of relationship where I just thought, like, okay, like, if something goes down, we could talk about it. Like, we could see where each other's head was at. Like, I thought that's the type of thing we had going on. Like, I thought. I'm not thinking she's thinking like I'm about to press her or nothing like that. But then again, I really don't know, because they all had this type of like stereotype against people from New York. Like, oh, they're so aggressive and they're crazy and they're gonna do, which is kind of true but kind of not. Like, you know what I'm saying? So boom, I end up getting to the student center and I see our other roommate, Belle. Me and her is sitting on the bench by the student center waiting for Smalls to come down so I could talk to her. But the only reason why Belle was there was because we usually all link up after this specific class so we could get some food. Like, that was our routine or whatever, so it wasn't about to be on nothing crazy or whatever. The way that the student center is like, it overlooks all of campus. Well, not all of campus, but like you can see a vast majority. Like, it's the main part of campus. So the student center is like up like a couple of steps or whatever, and like they have benches where you can like see everything or whatever. So where we were sitting, we could see Smalls coming from the science building to the student center. So I'm thinking, okay, you're about to come up, you see us, because when I tell y'all, I made eye contact with this girl. Hold on. This girl made eye contact. Why isn't my phone charging, y'all? I made eye contact with this girl. Like, when I tell y'all, this girl looked me in my face and like looked down at her phone and like kept walking. Like, you know when you're purposely trying to like ignore somebody and like you pretend that you're looking at something on your phone? That's what she was doing, but which was weird to me, because it's like, what are you doing that for? Like, now she was giving me weird vibes, and it's like, girl, I just want to talk to you like friend to friend. Like, no funny, that's really all I wanted to do. So maybe she has some sort of attitude from like how we were texting, but I really didn't think it was nothing behind it personally. But anyway, she was trying to ignore me so hard to the point where it was these two random boys walking. Like, she's coming this way, they're going this way, and he sees me, because at this point I'm yelling her name. I'm like, Smalls, Smalls, and she got her headphones in, so I guess she was like using that as an excuse, making it seem like she couldn't hear me. But I knew she knew, you know, she knew I was calling her. So the boys hear me or whatever, and they're tapping her like, hey, your friend is calling. So she finally comes over here, and I'm sitting just like this. Belle is like right next to me, and she comes up like in between us, but she's standing up. And when I need to talk to you about something I feel is like kind of serious or whatever, I just rather you sit down so we could be on the same level. Like, I don't want nobody feeling like they're talking down to nobody, or me talking down to her, or vice versa. Like, I don't want none of that. I want everybody to be leveled and equal, and like, you know, we could just talk like young ladies, like young, educated, mature ladies. But it didn't go like that. So as soon as she stands up in front of me, I'm like, hey, do you want to have a seat? And she's like, before, like, that's all I said to her, y'all, just like that. Before anything else could happen, bro, shorty starts not yelling, but like low-key yelling, but like not at me though, like just yelling, I don't have time for this shit, I don't want to do this shit, oh my god. Like, I don't even know what I don't remember what she was saying, but I just know she was like getting like hyperventilating low-key, and she just stomps off. Like, she stomps off, and literally immediately me and Belle look at each other like, and we just bust out laughing. Like, we're mad weak, because it's no way you just stormed off like that. For what? Like, what? Who pissed in your Kool-Aid? Like, what's really going on right now? Like, what's tea? So she just goes off. We end up getting our food, minding our business, and we get home. And at this point, I knock on Minnie Mouse's door, because remember, she was like, we could finish the conversation when we get back, whatever. I knock on Minnie Mouse's door, And before we could get into like the nitty gritty of what had happened earlier and why we was arguing like that, I just came and I told her like, hey, this morning, I don't know what you overheard, but this is what I said about you. I said I called you a bitch, called you, I said all that other stuff, because, you know, I just felt like in a situation like that, if we're about to like talk things out and make up, I don't want nobody else, even if it was just Smalls that was in the room when I was talking, I just want to make sure that whatever I said, I'm gonna tell you to your face. I don't like when, you know, people's talking about each other behind their back and all that other stuff. Like, I'm just the type, like, if we're about to make up, okay, cool. Or if we're not about to make up, it don't matter. If we're talking about the situation, I'm gonna let you know, like, hey, I said X, Y, Z, so that nobody else except for Lydia can tell you what Lydia said. You feel me? We basically came to the conclusion that, you know, Smalls was like trying to get us to be against each other for whatever reason, and we decided that when Smalls had came home, we were gonna like have a little group meeting. Like, I'm just laughing because I definitely seen a TikTok mad long ago, and it was like how when you first get to college, like, it's girls always wanted to do group meetings, and that's so true. Like, I promise you, a lot of things we just thought we could solve with a group meeting. Like, it's so stupid. As we're in the room, Smalls texts Belle, and she's like basically telling her like, hey, don't tell Minnie Mouse that I was talking about her, which obviously Minnie Mouse, you know, seen the text or whatever. And it was just weird because it's like, it's one thing if like, you know you was doing something and you're like, okay, now that we're gonna talk about it, like, you could just admit to the stuff or whatever. But like, you specifically went out your way to text somebody else and be like, don't tell her I was talking about her. Like, that's odd. Like, that's so weird. So anyway, Smalls gets home. We try to stay in the living room and have a discussion about it. At this point, me and Belle really aren't saying nothing because it's really between, now the thing is really between Smalls and Minnie Mouse. But long story short, Minnie Mouse is asking Smalls like, hey, you know, I know that you said X, Y, and Z, da da da, so what was that about, basically? And Smalls is basically like, I never said that, I never did that, da da da, like just copping a plea OD, like just not being honest about nothing. After everything hit the fan, it's like, what more can you do than just admit to what you were saying? So now I'm not getting tight, but I'm getting irritated because we're sitting here for mad long for you to just keep lying, and it's like, what are we sitting here for? We're just wasting time. So at this point, she's like, I never said that. I'm like, I shouldn't have intervened, but I did. I have a habit of doing that sometimes, and I really gotta stop because that's really not my place. But anyway, I intervened in the conversation. I was like, so Smalls, you didn't just say X, Y, Z, you didn't just say da da da, you didn't just say da da da. And she's like, no, I never said. So I'm like, okay, hold on, y'all. Yeah, my camera's about to die. So I'm like, you never said that? She's like, no, I never said that, da da da. So at this point, I was like, okay, like, if you're not gonna admit to nothing, like, it's really nothing to talk about. And I just got up, and I guess everybody had ended the conversation or whatever. Probably like 2 hours later, 2 or 3 hours later, she sends me this long paragraph, and she's like, I do apologize for coming to you hard as it's never nothing with you, because you know you're my favorite, but I was just heated at the moment, and I know I did storm off and shit, but it wasn't towards you. I think she might say, and you and Belle, I love all y'all. I love y'all all, and I'm not gonna make that, and I'm not gonna move. That was just me talking at the time, but I do understand where you're coming from. I did get all worked up for nothing. I'm good now, but hopefully you good, because you the last motherfucking person I want to be at odds with, because you know how close we are, and I still love you. It's not gonna, it's, I guess, oh, nothing is gonna, I'm sorry y'all, she did not use a lot of punctuation. Nothing's gonna change the way I feel about you, because you literally remind me of myself. We're meant to be friends for a reason, but again, I do apologize for earlier. Heart emoji. Like, y'all see what I'm talking about? Like, when I tell y'all, this girl was really my road dog. Like, for the time being that we was friends, like, you was cool until you wasn't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really did enjoy being around her. Like, she sends me that, and I never end up responding, because it was just like, you irritated me for the whole day. Like, and at this point, I didn't really know if I wanted to be friends with you or not, because now that I'm in college, I was really kind of looking at it like, you know, a big portion of my life Like, I felt like God kept sending me the same type of people to be around who just weren't good for me. And it's like, I never got the memo to just, like, you know, as soon as they do something weird, you need to cut them off. Like, it's not worth to be around them. And I guess God just kept trying to teach me a lesson until I got it. I finally got it in college, but it took me a while, you know what I'm saying? So I was kind of torn if I should cut her off at this point or not, because this was a red flag for me. Like, in my face, it was a red flag, because I don't want to be around somebody who does stuff like this. But it was just like, you know, she didn't only have bad moments. Like, I keep giving people the benefit of the doubt every single time, and this situation was not that serious for me to, I felt like I had to cut her off for. But the principal was clearly a red flag in my face. Like, you know, you just don't want to be around somebody who acts like that. But I still decided to be friends with her. So moving on, at this point we are in October. This happened in September, now we're in October. It was this one night, Smalls comes in my room, she's on the phone with her mom. And I don't think I mentioned this to y'all, but her mom was very fond of me. Like, when we had first moved in and everything like that, like, she, like, messed with my mom's heavy. Like, she thought I was, like, you know, she was just weird. So her mom is on the phone with her. She comes in and she's like, hey, where's Lydia? I want to talk to her or whatever. So we talking on the phone, we chopping it up. She asked me how things going, whatever, you know, the usual. And she invites me to their hometown for the weekend, like, to sleep over. Now, the people who know me personally know I do not sleep over at anybody's house. Like, I'm very heavy on that. So for me to just up and say yes, like I was coming over there, was very unusual for me to do. But, you know, I guess I was in that YOLO mode. It was just like, okay, whatever, I was just gonna go. We end up going to her hometown. A lot of stuff happened on this little weekend getaway, but the only thing that y'all need to take note of for the story time is the fact that I ended up meeting her aunt. We're gonna name the aunt Amanda. So I met her aunt Amanda, and basically she had this sort of get together. You know, they were watching the football game, she made food, everything was cool. She was also very fond of me. Honestly, her whole family was cool. Like, I'll give that to her. Her whole family was actually, like, really nice to me or whatever. And she's like, hey, Lydia, if you don't mind, I would like you to come back next week, because I'm having a game night for her birthday next week Friday. Remember that? I remember that very clearly. Next week Friday, she said she was having a game night. So I was like, sure, I'll come along, as long as Smalls is gonna be able to, like, find us a ride down. Like, if somebody was gonna come get us or whatever, I would have no problem with coming. And I'm saying that because her hometown was about, like, a 2 or 3 hour drive from our school. Like, it was in a different area. So that was the plan. Smalls had agreed. She was like, yeah, you know, so and so could come pick us up, we could go over there, like, it's not gonna be a problem. So I was like, fine, like, that's what we was gonna do. After the weekend was over, this is the Monday now, I think, something like that. After the weekend is over, we get back to school, and this is homecoming week. Homecoming week is starting, whatever. I get sick. I probably went to, like, 1 or 2 events that y'all seen. If y'all didn't watch those videos, go watch that. Wherever it's gonna be, go watch that. I probably went to 2 events, and I caught the flu. Like, I caught a really bad, like, I think it was the flu or something like that. But when I tell y'all, I was so sick, I was crying. Like, I felt so bad. I was so sick. So I was down for the count for the rest of the week. And now Halloween rolls around. So I don't celebrate Halloween or nothing like that. Everybody was dressing up and stuff like that. But my roommates had asked me to go with them to the haunted house that the school was putting on. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go. At this point, this is like the day that I, like, start to feel better or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm back outside, I go. So I go to the haunted house or whatever. We come back home, and literally not even like 5 or 10 minutes past, there's an ambulance outside of our building. So, and I'm on the first floor, so I can easily see everything going on or whatever. So I'm like, I wonder what's going on. All of a sudden, I hear Smalls rush out her room and, like, running out the door. So I'm like, Smalls, what's going on? She's like, what's her name? She's like, Jackie, is like going to the hospital. So here's where Jackie comes in. Jackie was not our roommate for the first semester, but her and Jackie have been best friends for years from back in their hometown. They're both the same age. I think they were like 16 when they first came to school. And yeah, they just been best friends for years, but they weren't roommates. She just lived in our building, like on one of the floors or whatever. So at this point, I'm cool with Jackie, so I'm a little concerned. I'm like, is she okay? Like, what's going on? Comes to find out, she had a panic attack. So, and that's not nothing to play around with. Like, I'm not trying to be funny with that or nothing. And Smalls is like, okay, I'm gonna go to the hospital along with her, because I think you could only have one person ride with you or whatever. And you know, they were best friends, like I said, so she was gonna be the one to go. So I texted her probably like 15 minutes after that, after they had went to the hospital, and I'm like, I texted her, I said, did you pack anything? She's like, no. So I was like, let me know what happens and if y'all need anything. Me being the concerned friend that I am, like, I'm genuinely concerned. So she's like, okay, I will, thank you. She texted me sometime after that. She's like, they made it. So at this point, I was going to call Small's mom, because keep in mind, this was after I had already slept over at the mother's house. This was after, you know, we had moved and everything like that. The mom was been telling me like, hey, if anything goes down, you know, I'm just a call away, like, feel free to call me. She told me specifically, make sure you call me. So I was about to call her and let her know like, hey, I don't know if you know, but and the only reason I thought to do this was because I just assumed that because Smalls was in the process of making sure that her best friend was okay, that she didn't think, oh, like, let me call my mom, let her know, or call her mom, or call somebody from back home to let them know, like, about their child. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just thought it was the right thing to do. But before that, I didn't want to just randomly call her mom, just in case, like, you know, she already called her mom. Before I had called her mom, I texted her. I said, did you call your mom yet? The only reason I asked her that was because if you already called your mom, it doesn't make sense for me to call her. You know, I just wanted to make sure she was notified. That's it. So she immediately responds and she's like, hell no, because she don't know I'm coming. She thinks I'm coming Friday, but I'm gonna tell her after. So at this point, I think I forgot who told me, maybe she told me, but she tells me that the best friend's mom, Jackie's mom, is coming from their hometown to pick her up so that she can take her home. So I guess Smalls was going back home with her. So at this point, this happened on Monday, October 31st. I'm thinking, you know, we're supposed to go to Amanda's house, her aunt's house, on Friday. But because you're already going back on Monday, I'm just assuming, okay, you're staying for the week, and since I'm not going along with y'all, I'm just not going to Amanda's birthday get together or whatever, which was not a problem for me. Keep in mind, it was not a problem for me. It wouldn't have mattered to me if I went or not, but I just knew we were supposed to go. So I'm like, well, I'm glad you told me first, because I was about to call her. She's like, yeah, don't do that. She's good right now. It got my anxiety bad though. She's talking about the best friend. And I said, well, looks like I won't be coming with y'all this time since this happened. And she's like, I know. I said, because remember, I was supposed to go down with y'all for Amanda's birthday. She's like, yes, I hate this. So I was asking her, like, what triggered her, all that other stuff, just to, you know, see what was going on, whatever. So at this point, I'm under the impression that I'm just not going, like, with them for Amanda's birthday, and that's fine. Like, that's what we talked about. It's Wednesday at this point. This whole scenario had happened on Monday. It's Wednesday, and Smalls walks through the front door. So at this point, I don't ask her nothing about like, hey, why are you here, or am I still coming along with y'all, because I was again under the impression that you were staying in your hometown until Friday, right? No. So she comes back, and I guess she came to gather a few things, like some of her clothes or whatever, and she went right back out. Like, I guess someone was waiting outside for her to take her back or whatever, but she literally did not say anything to me besides hi and bye. Like, she did not tell me what was going on or nothing like that. So I was just kind of confused. But again, I'm not about to run you down and press you for information. If you wanted me to know something, you would have told me, right? So I'm not about to ask you nothing. She leaves. Later on in the night, I end up going in the kitchen to make something to eat, and I see Belle in the living room. Belle is telling me how, oh yeah, well, Smalls been told her that she was already planning to leave on Wednesday and da da da. So at this point, I'm like, interesting, like that's weird, because the person that was supposed to be going with you, you didn't notify that it was already in your plans to leave on Wednesday instead of Friday. Even up to Monday, you was still texting me like, yeah, we was supposed to go on Friday, da da da. So behind my back, like, this has been your plan to, like, you know, just go and not say nothing to me, which was fine. It's just weird that you're not communicating that if I was supposed to come along. Like, it was giving you didn't want me to come. And if that was the case, you could have just said that. Like, you could have just said that. I promise you, you could have just said that. It would not have been a problem. I was not that pressed to go back to your hometown again with you, but like, don't be having me thinking that we got something good going on that is not, like, and we just not on the same page or whatever. So I didn't say nothing or whatever, but I think probably on that Thursday, like the day after that, I had called Jackie to check in on her after her panic attack. So I called Jackie up and I'm like, hey, or how are you doing, are you okay, da da da. And remember, I'm thinking that Smalls is again sleeping over at Jackie's house, how they usually do, you know, they're best friends. So I was like, is Smalls around? And she's like, no, Smalls is at her girlfriend's house. And I'm just thinking in my head, how do we get here? I was like, oh, okay, like I didn't know any of this, like, you know, what's going on. And also another thing to mention, me and Smalls also we were sharing locations with each other. And during this time, after that Wednesday, she had turned her location off. But I did not pay it no mind, because I'm not your man. Like, I don't care what you got going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to know that everything was okay. Like, I just wanted to know why you didn't communicate that you didn't want me to come with you back to your hometown. Like, I was genuinely confused. So her best friend ends up telling me that the reason why she didn't want me to call her mom was because I guess her parents did not know that she had a girlfriend, and so she had snuck over to stay with her girlfriend for the few days. And so she was gonna pop up at her house on the Friday like she was supposed to, you know, with her parents, da, 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 and basically tell them, like, I guess that I didn't want to come or whatever, which wasn't the case. That's why she didn't want me to call her mom. After I heard this information, my original plan was to, like, call her over the phone to, like, ask her what was going on and why she didn't tell me, like, about her plans or whatever, because I would have been more understanding. But then I was like, okay, well, if you're at your girlfriend's house, you know, y'all probably spending time together, whatnot, whatever you got, whatever your situation is, like, I'm not about to get in between that. And also, I feel like you're about to be home soon anyways, like in a few days, so we could just talk about it then. But I did tell the best friend on the phone, I was like, well, I was just wondering because you know, I was supposed to come back home with y'all or whatever, and you know, she just didn't tell me nothing about that. So that's what it was. We ended up getting off the phone, like it was really nothing to the conversation. We ended up getting off the phone, and a few days later, Smalls comes back home. This is Sunday, November 6th. Smalls comes back home, and I'm hearing her parents with her. So at this point, I'm just like, damn, did she get in trouble? Did they find out about the girlfriend? Like, I don't know what's going on, but I heard them come in from my room. So the mom comes and she's like, hey, what's going on, da da da. But they're only there for about like 5 minutes and they leave. So I guess they were just taking her back home and dropping her off. But whilst I was in the bathroom, I had heard her like sniffling or whatever, so I thought she was crying. And when she had came in, she ignored everybody in the house. Like, she didn't say hey to everybody how she usually is. So I thought something was wrong with her. So I had texted the best friend Jackie, and I had asked her, I said, hey, do you know if something happened to Smalls? I said, hey, did something happen to Smalls? Do you know? She's like, what you mean happened to her? And I told her, like, you know, I hear her crying, her parents dropped her off, so I was asking before I go check on her. She gonna text me back talking about some, she said she's not crying. Like, yo, like So then Smalls texts me and she's like, I'm good. Like literally not a minute after I texted her that, Smalls texts me talking about something, I'm good. Like bro, like, so it really made it seem like I was talking about you, but I really wasn't. I was just concerned. If y'all want to say I was wrong for that, for like not texting her directly, then okay, cool, y'all can say I was wrong, like for that little part. But the only reason I chose to do that was because it's like you came in, you didn't say nothing to nobody, so I really was trying to figure out what was tea, you know, from your best friend. I was assuming that she would have known. So as soon as she texted me I'm good, I said, I can hear you sniffling from my room, you coming in, you didn't say nothing to nobody, so obviously something's up. What happened? She's like, no, I'm good, I just got a lot going on back home, but I'm not crying. When I put this stuff up, I'm coming out. When she comes out, I was like, I know you're going through a lot or whatever, but I want to talk to you about something. What I wanted to talk to her about was what I just told y'all about the whole, you could have just told me about the girlfriend and this is why you didn't want me to come, you didn't spend time with her, I would have understood that. That's what I wanted to say. I just didn't want to push it onto her because you just said you was going through stuff at home, so I was trying to respect that. So I was just going to choose the following day when we woke up to bring it up, you know what I'm saying? It didn't go down like that. Remember, we had the first situation, this was the second situation, now we're on to the third situation. So I'm thinking it's a regular old day. I end up going to the cafeteria to get some food. Me and Belle were together. Jackie and Smalls end up coming to the cafeteria, and usually like if we'll see each other or we're in the same place, we'll all sit together, it's not a problem. But this time they came and like me and Belle are sitting right here at the table. They both sit across and like it was just weird. Like they sat down and like they was like, I think Smalls had said hey, and like Jackie kind of like, I don't know, one of them said hey or both of them said hey, something like that, but somebody said hey. And I'm over here texting my man. I don't know if we was arguing or what it was, but I'm just in my phone, like I'm just texting like this and I'm like hey, but I didn't really look up too much, like, you know, I was just like a, you know what I'm saying, word. So I'm telling y'all, I'm not thinking nothing of you, bro, but like literally I was just noticing that like they were only talking amongst themselves, like it was just not how things usually are. And I'm just assuming maybe the both of them are going through something, you know, they had a long week, you just said you're going through stuff at home. So I'm not thinking nothing is not as it should be. I'm just thinking, okay, y'all just having an off day. Like I'm not bringing nothing up, like I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt here, like, you know what I'm saying? So after a while I just noticed they have not said a word to us, like they're not talking to us. So I'm like, okay, I have stuff to do. So after I finish eating or whatever, I wrap it up and I'm like, okay guys, I'm about to go, you know, handle some stuff at the library. I have some homework to do, whatever. I get up and I excuse myself from the table. So Bella's like, okay, wait, I'm gonna come with you because, you know, she has some stuff to do, da, da, da. So we end up leaving. The following day, after class, Belle calls me. She's like, hey, me, Smalls, and Jackie are at the caf. Do you want to come along with us to get food? So I'm like, yeah, I'm walking that way right now. So she's like, okay. By the time I get over to the caf, it's only Belle standing there. So I'm like, where is Smalls and Jackie? I thought you said you was with them. She's like, oh, I told them that you was coming and they left. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are y'all talking about right now? Like, what you mean they left? She's like, yeah, they left. I was like, that's weird. So I get in the cab and I see the both of them sitting down, and at this point I don't sit with y'all. Like I choose a whole different table to sit at because what I'm not about to do is keep smiling in y'all face and playing these games. I don't know what type of beef y'all have with me, but word, I'm not feeling y'all. Like y'all left because y'all heard I was coming. Like that's weird. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm not about to run you down. Later that day I go back to the library again. I see Smalls and Jackie again sitting down in the computer lab. So I'm walking in there, and when I see them I'm like, hey guys, like, and they both look up at me like in disgust. They're like, hey. and they go back to what they're doing, and I sit down right next to them because again, I'm not thinking there's no problem. Like, I'm not thinking there's no problem at all. Like, I'm still acting like being my normal regular self. So boom, I end up finishing what I had to do in the computer lab and I leave. Later on that day, I see them again. They're walking out of our apartment and I'm walking in, and this time they don't say nothing to me. Like, so I didn't say nothing to them, and at this point we just straight up ignored each other. So at this point, that gave me the confirmation that I needed. Like, yo, I'm not with y'all, like, word. And I'm not about to ask y'all what the problem is either, because I don't care. Like, I really didn't care that much, especially considering the fact that I just met y'all. So maybe it was just giving y'all are just weird people, like, and that's okay with me. Like, that's totally fine. Like, I really didn't have it was no pressure for real, you understand? Like, it was no pressure. So I get home or whatever, I'm listening to my music or whatever. I think I was editing a video or something like that, and all of a sudden I get a text in a group chat from Jackie and Smalls. The best friend texts in the group chat, and she's like, what's going on with everybody? Is there something that needs to be discussed? So remember I told y'all that I had Smalls' location. They both was walking out together, so I knew that they were together, and they were both in the library at the same time, right next to each other, texting me in a group chat. So automatically it gave y'all trying to get some 2 against 1 type of business and try to press me or something like that in a group chat. Y'all are together, y'all are planning out what to say to me right now, you know what I'm saying? And y'all just left my presence, so it just aggravated me 10 times more, because what's really going on here? Like, why y'all being weird to me? Like, what's going on? So I text back and I'm like, who's everybody? She like, everybody, you, Belle, Minnie Mouse, and everybody we talked to. At this point I just knew it was just BS, because y'all talking about everybody, but y'all are in a group chat with me. Like, y'all just making yourselves look dumb, bro. Y'all talking about something, what's the problem with everybody? Is everybody in this group chat, or is just me in this group chat? Like, 1, I'm not everybody's spokesperson. 2, I don't know what y'all referring to that needs to be discussed. And 3, if y'all want us to talk about something, y'all fully live here, so why are you texting me about whatever you trying to talk about? Again, y'all just left my presence. You, Smalls, you live 10 steps away from me. 10 steps. 10 steps. You know what I'm saying? And Jackie, you live upstairs. So like, and y'all are always together. Like, you was fully sleeping in Smalls' room for 2 nights in a row. 2 nights. You was living in my space, bro. Both of y'all. Y'all could have just knocked on my door like, hey, like, you know, I just wanted to talk to you real quick. I want to see what was going on. The energy's kind of off, I feel like. Like, we could have just sorted it out. But you put me in a group chat, bro. A group chat. And y'all are together. And y'all think that there's no problem with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just weird, bro. Like, even talking about it is low-key getting me tight again, because what was going through y'all heads, like, you know? So yeah, she sends me this essay in the group chat. Well, if I see people acting like they don't want to speak and me feeling weird vibes and stuff, then I'm gonna feed off that energy. I ain't did nothing to nobody for people to be acting dry. When I first got back and met y'all in the cafeteria and said, hey y'all, Belle spoke, I didn't hear nothing come from you at all, but Small said you did a little wave or something, because I know I didn't see. Pause. Remember I told y'all I was in my phone and I said, hey. So if your friend told you that she seen and heard me say hi back to y'all, then what is your problem right here? Because you know I said it, so what's the problem? And me being me, like, I know everybody's not the same person, but if we're friends and you didn't hear me say something to you, if we're genuinely friends, me, hey Jackie, I didn't hear a response, you didn't say nothing, I'm like, I said hey. I'll be like, Jackie, you didn't hear me talking to you? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I get on my friends. Like, not on no like aggressive stuff, like that's just really how I'm talking. But word, like, I'll just like tap you, like, you know what I'm saying, you didn't hear me? You know what I'm saying? We're friends. It should not be that deep for us to be having a problem right now. So that in itself, beyond you putting me in a group chat, that really, like, that just took it up a notch. Like, you just irritated me because this is your problem. That's your problem with me. Like, this is really what you've been acting weird about. Like, are you serious? Okay, continue on. Then you and Belle got up and left because you needed to go somewhere. Seems like you was cool with her, but not me and Smalls. How does it seem like I'm cool with her because she followed me out the door? You just said in your message here, you left because you needed to go somewhere. Exactly. Lydia got up off the table and said, hey, I need to go somewhere. And guess who followed me? Belle. She also had to do something. So how does it look that I'm cool with her when I initiated myself getting up off the table instead of talking and politicking around with y'all? Explain that to me. Exactly. Then she's like, then last night when me and Smalls was walking in the hall from y'all room and you was coming back, once again walked right past each other and didn't say nothing. I would have spoke like I usually do, but that cafeteria situation ain't sit right with me, so I said cool. I don't know what that's about, but I'll keep it pushing, I guess. And I know I'm not the only one who sees that. You just confirmed to me that the whole reason why we're even in this sort of situation that you really made up in your mind. Like, you're delusional. You're delusional. Like, how did you take you like, hold on, ghetto. But yeah, how did you hear your friend tell you, oh yeah, she did say hi, but you still decided to make a problem in your head? You literally just admitted to me, oh, I would have said something to you, I wouldn't have ignored you, but the cafeteria situation didn't sit right with me. You're day room, like, you're really day room. Like, word, I'm talking to you, you're day room. Like, facts. Like, let's really talk about it. So I responded and I'm like, I just asked you why you're texting me if you had something to say, and you proceeded to text me a paragraph, question mark? Because didn't I just tell you, why are you texting me? I mean, didn't I just ask you why you're texting me if you had something to say and you live with me? I just asked you that, no? Like, and you just sent me this whole paragraph and you didn't answer my question. Like, it wasn't rhetorical. Like, I'm talking to you. I just asked you if you had something to say to me. Why didn't you just, you know what I'm saying? We live together and you text me a paragraph. Like, you're doing the opposite of what I just asked you about, and you're refusing to answer me. Like, what's going on? I said, and if you had something to say to me about anything regarding you and I, then why are you texting in a group chat? Because as far as I'm concerned, the only person texting in a group chat is Jackie. That's not weird, bro. Like, and mind you, the only reason me and Jackie became friends was because she's best friends with my roommate, Smalls. So why exactly are you having a problem with me over Smalls? This whole time, Smalls has yet to text in the group chat saying that she had a specific problem with me. It's just you. Like, it's just you. Like, what's really going on right now? So I said, you know where I stay at, and you've been in our crib for the past 2 days, because remember I told y'all she was sleeping in Smalls' room. So I'm very much confused as to why I'm getting this message right now. I know you and Smalls are together right now, so obviously it gives me the impression that you're talking shit. You're the only one texting me. You put me in a group chat, the other person is not even responding. Like, y'all are obviously talking about what you're saying in this group chat right now. Like, why did you leave the apartment to sit and twiddle your thumbs to text me about something that you could have easily talked about? Like, that's why it was irritating me. On top of the fact that the problem itself was just stupid. Stupid. Why are we even in this situation, y'all? For real. So she goes, when I spoke on everybody, I'm saying everybody seems so different and off and shit, but I know I've been hanging with Smalls because I still don't feel good, and I be alone in my room, and normally we all together and talking, but it's just been us two because I know y'all all have your own schedules, but even the times we do come in contact with each other, ain't nothing being said like it's an issue. We're in the computer lab and I ain't said a word since we've been in here. What I did tell Smalls was that I was gonna text in the group chat and see why it's been like that. Then Smalls finally texts and she's like, oh baby, oh on baby, I ain't saying nothing. I'm minding my business reading messages. Explain to me how you're minding your business reading messages. Like, what in the oxymoron? Like, do you even know what that means? Like, you're contradicting yourself, babes. So then you're not minding your business. And then other girl, Jackie, talking about some we're in the computer lab and I didn't say a word since we've been in here. You telling me that all this is going on in the group chat and you and Smalls is sitting here just you're just texting and you're not saying nothing to your friend, to your best friend? Like, lie again, bro. Do I have stupid on my forehead, bro? I don't see anything. Do you? Maybe you see something I don't see, because this is just beyond me. So then I said, like, I won't even lie to you, this is very childish to me, because if you have something to say, why not say it when you're in my space and not over text messages? Why are we even having this conversation right now? I keep asking you the same thing and you're still not answering me, babes. So she goes, so y'all have never discussed the issue over text? And I said, I've been with Smalls and every time I'm there, y'all are in your rooms closing doors and stuff like that. I don't know if she was just saying this like to imply that like it's weird energy, but babes, no one has been closing no doors because you've been in the house. Like, nobody is pressed over you to be doing that. Not me, not Minnie Mouse, not nobody. I responded to her message and I said, bro, I'm really not trying to get tight, but you're dead lying. My door been open for the past 2 days. How else I'm gonna see y'all walking in and out the door if my door is closed? Make it make sense. I know I don't have superpowers so I could see through the door. I don't have no x-ray vision. My door is open. I'm watching you go in and out the house. So what are you talking about? My door is not closed. My door was never closed for the past 2 days, so let's really talk about it. So then she said, I've been too tuned in typing paragraphs, which you shouldn't have, because I told you stop talking to me over text messages. I will say, if we spoke on anything, like I told you, I told her I was gonna text in the group chat about how I felt in the cafeteria when I got back. What? Like, what? So then I said again, if you're telling me you're concerned with me, why are we texting in the group chat with me, you, and Smalls? Do you have a problem with me? Why are we texting in a group chat? Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to you? It shouldn't. I said the right thing to do would be to approach me directly if this didn't have anything to do with Smalls, right? Okay. I said, because you're texting me in here, it's giving me the impression that y'all are talking shit, just like I said. Does it not? Okay. So then I asked her, I said, are you understanding what I'm telling you? Because, you know, you're not. Like, you're not understanding. You're clearly not getting it. Like, okay, cool. And I said before, I'm minding my business. I'm good. I don't have nothing else to say. Whatever Jackie feels is on her mind and chest, she will say it, which is what she's doing. And even when I got back, it was funny stuff going on with you, even though I came home rude and all of that. But after the fact, you started moving funny, so I just kept myself away from it, which I'm gonna continue to keep doing. The thing about that was, I genuinely was not acting no type of way towards her. The only reason she was saying that was because that's how her friend was feeling. And one thing about the two of them, it was just giving inseparable. Like, they was attached at the hip. Like, everywhere they went together. One thing about Smalls, she didn't really have like a voice of her own. And I'm not saying that, you know, because it's like such a bad thing, but she did have trouble. She had some sort, like, she was still figuring out her own identity. So a lot of the things on her chest, she would not voice out, you know, in the open or whatever. So I know for a fact, based on, you know, my time spent with her, she did not really feel like that. She lived with me. The only reason she's saying that is because her friend is saying that. Jackie goes on speaking. She's like, well, every time I'm there, I'm in Small's room, so I don't know whose door is open or what. Again, contradicting yourself. You just told me you see everybody's doors closed. Now all of a sudden I'm checking, you talking about some, oh, I don't know whose door is open or what. You don't even know what you're talking about here. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So yeah, but the times I've seen everybody door been shut. Lie again. Lie again. She said, I seen your door open one afternoon when me and Smalls were going back to the library, but I didn't see you. And this morning, I seen your door was open because I sat in the living room waiting for Smalls to lock her door so I can walk with her to class. Regardless, since that cafeteria situation, I haven't spoke or nothing because I felt weird vibes, so I said I'm gonna distance myself. You felt weird vibes off of that one scenario, which I definitely said something to you. I said a greeting to you, bro. Like, I'm bugging, bro. Like, you're telling me you felt weird vibes from me off of that one situation, bro? And truthfully, I told y'all, when they sat down with an attitude. And of course I felt some sort of, you know, off energy. But again, I told y'all, I was not like, you know, I was not putting nothing on nobody. Like, I was not creating no problems off of that, bro. Y'all are just day room and immature, and it's clear that y'all have some growing up to do, bro, and that's fine. That's fine. She also says, and I texted the group chat because I wanted to speak on what Lydia and I talked about this past week, because it was regarding Smalls and the vibe since I got back. I just don't feel like everything is towards me. I felt like Smalls ain't been talking to you either, so since we have a group chat together, I decided to text in here. I texted to figure out if there was something was going on and get to the bottom of it, because I ain't never think something would be going on between us three. Again, we were all cool, bro, no doubt about it. We were all cool, but this just really pushed me over the top. Like, I cannot hang around y'all. I can't. Y'all are just too immature for me, bro. No way. No way that we're even talking about this. Like, do you see what she said right here? She said she feels like I had something going on with Smalls. That just right there solidified, like, that was confirmation for me that you put in her head that I had a problem with her. I promise you, she would have never thought that I had an issue with her if you was not talking about me to her. Like, how are you telling me that you feel like Smalls had a problem with me? How do you know how she feels? Because y'all were talking about it. Y'all were talking about it, and before you came to stay in our house for those 2 days, me and Smalls were cool. Since the moment she came back home, we were cool. Like, you were putting stuff in her head, bro, and that's fine. Like, that's fine, but don't try to text me in this group chat and make it seem like, you know, I'm the weird one. Like, word. So at this point, I start going off. Like, I'm like, you know what, F me being respectful, trying to be respectful with y'all. Y'all are just pissing me off, especially after I just told you stop texting me in a group chat. I told you this more than once, bro, and you're still going. So now I had to up it. Like, word. And I hope y'all are not watching this and thinking like, oh, she's just mean and she always trying to do something and be in drama and take it there. No, but I'm really telling y'all, like, yo, I told y'all more than once that we could have handled this a different way, like face to face, bro. It wouldn't have been all of this, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of things get misconstrued over messages, bro. Facts. So boom, I said, Smalls, let's keep it a stack, you're a follower. When you came home, yes, you were rude as and I was still speaking to you in caps. I said you started coming home and not saying shit to me after you started hanging alone with Jackie. Exactly what I said. And you know damn well I'm not kissing your ass over nothing. I don't give a f whether I speak to whoever or not. Y'all really starting to piss me off because I literally sat in the cafeteria and both of y'all sat down with an attitude. Y'all said hi and that was it. Y'all were having your own private conversation with each other, so I got up and left. I have shit to do, so what am I sitting there for, wasting my time for, and y'all being weird and to yourselves? I said I was leaving and Belle decided to get up and follow me out. So what do you mean I was acting like I don't F with y'all? Like, are y'all hearing yourselves right now? Then she says, this is what upped it again. Like, she was just continuing to piss me off, and it really wasn't Smalls. It was really all Jackie. Like, it was just Jackie, like, word. So she's like, then you and Belle posted these TikToks about the college friends. So I said, okay, let me see what's going on now. I definitely didn't sit down with an attitude, because if that's the case, I wouldn't have spoke to none of y'all. This TikTok that she's talking about, bro, when I tell y'all, I made a TikTok. I forgot what it what it was. If I can find it, I'll put it up here, but I don't think I'll find it. But it was, I think it was a TikTok basically talking about how when you thought college was gonna be different from high school, but it's the same thing because, you know, the girls are childish and whatever. When I tell y'all, bro, it had nothing to do with this situation. And I'm not just saying that so I could look like the innocent person. No, I'm saying that because if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I post reels almost every single day. And especially back in school, I was really on top of it. I'm posting content every single day. Like, I've been made that video. I didn't wait until we was falling out to make a video and da-da-da. It had nothing to do with that. And I'm definitely not into the whole I'm making a video just to sub y'all. Like, who do I look like, bro? This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, they were just childish. Like I'm not, I don't know, they was probably into doing stuff like that, like throwing subs and stuff. But bro, I have not thrown a sub at somebody since like the 9th grade, bro. Truthfully, I do not use social media for that, bro. Like, I'm keeping it a stack with y'all, bro. I will not lie to y'all. So I sent this voice note. I don't know what it said, but I'm gonna play it for y'all. Don't piss me off. Content creating. This has nothing to do with nobody. If I had a problem with both of y'all, I would have been knocked on both of y'all doors. Y'all know fully well I have no problem saying what the I want to say to nobody. So what are you talking about? Y'all, I was so tight, and I promise y'all, I don't even act like this, bro. Like, it really takes a lot for somebody to get me out of character. And truthfully, now that I'm looking back, I really should not have even taken it there with them. So she says, was I sat at the table? Yes. Did I just get done walking and crying? Yes, because I still don't feel good to this day. That's why when I came to the table and spoke to y'all, I was looking to have a conversation to get my mind off of shit. But when I seen you ain't say nothing back, so I just sat there and talked to Smalls because I didn't understand what that was about. Lie one more time. Like, you just been lying this whole conversation, bro. Why are you lying? You didn't come to the table looking for a conversation because you didn't speak. Like, and it had nothing to do with me being weird or anything like that. You literally just did not speak. Like, the only person you were speaking to at the table was Smalls. And truthfully, even talking about this again to the camera just irritates me because this problem was really made over nothing, bro. Nothing. Like, I don't even want to keep talking about this because that's how stupid it is to me. Okay, I'm not gonna play her voice notes because I don't want her voice to be out there. But then she says, if you want to talk in person, we can. Are you on campus? And I said, bro, I've been saying all this should have been face to face. I've been home. And then she says, well, we not at y'all place. And she says, well, we're not at y'all place, and I decided to text it like I do with most situations. I express myself better through text, and if there was a real situation regardless, I still spoke on it, and I didn't want no weird vibes in person. I don't know if I understand that or not. Like, some people just talk things better in text, but it's like, I don't. And y'all had a problem with me, and it's not gonna get solved with us talking over text, so sorry. I said, I don't know, I don't care what you spoke to Smalls about. I'm getting tight, so if you want to talk about it and hear what I need to say, then I'm home and I'll be waiting. Because this texting shit is not doing nothing for nobody, and I'm the only one home, if that makes you feel more secure. I'm not gonna lie, this part was giving I'm about to beat y'all up. Like, and I'm only laughing, like, if y'all are watching this, I'm only laughing because, like, it was really none of that. Like, I was really not pressed about it, but y'all was really just pissing me off because, like, bro, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? So yeah, she says, well, when we get back, we can speak on it, and no, they could be there, I don't care. And the only reason I spoke to Smalls is so y'all wouldn't be in a weird space as roommates, so she could know how you felt. But okay, we'll speak. that pissed me off too, but I didn't even respond to it. I just waited until they came home, because it's like, why are you even trying to like speak on my behalf? Like, don't try to go back to your best friend and tell her like how I feel. You don't even know how I feel, so what are you talking about? So yeah, that's the end of the messages or whatever. But after this took place, they ended up coming home probably like 20 minutes later, and Jackie knocks on my door. She's like laughing or whatever, like not laughing, but she's like chuckling. She's like, we're ready to speak to you now, like making it seem like it's all peaches and cream. But I was not playing with nobody, didn't care, was not playing with nobody. So I come in my room, I'm eating my Cheetos or whatever. I come in my room, I'm thinking we're all gonna congregate in the living room. They want me to come to Smalls' room so we could talk. So it's the both of them trying to talk to me in the room. Like, okay. So I'm standing in the doorway, and I didn't put down my Cheetos or nothing, because I just feel like the space, the mindset that I was in was giving like, yo, I really don't want to put hands on nobody. Like, so anyway, I come to the doorway or whatever. I'm standing by the doorway, and I'm like, all right, so what's up? Like, what's the problem? So she basically, at this point, it's not Smalls talking. It's still not Smalls talking. And that's how I know she did not have a problem with me, because you had nothing to say to me. And it's not because you just didn't want to talk about it. It's because you know for a fact, deep down inside, me and you, Smalls, we did not have no problem with each other, bro. We did not have no problems. And I'm gonna get to how we I'm gonna get to that. So yeah, we didn't. So Smalls is just sitting there like listening or whatever, and Jackie is just going on about how, you know, if someone if she feels weird vibes from me or someone, she's gonna reciprocate the energy and da 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 da, you know, whatever. And I'm getting like mad. Like, I'm low-key getting tight when I'm talking to her, low-key, high-key getting mad when I'm talking to her. I'm like, yo, what do you mean there was no energy to reciprocate? You're delusional, you was making it up in your own head, whatever. I forgot exactly what I was saying to her, but something along those lines. And she just keeps chatting, like she's just talking, and I'm like, okay, I just cut her off, and I'm like, okay, well, are you going to take accountability for the fact that you started this, you know, problem or whatever? She's like, no. So I asked her one more time. I said, are you going to take accountability for the situation, or at least the part you played? Like, take accountability for something, like, you know what I'm saying? Apologize. Like, I would have apologized, you know, if she apologized, even though I didn't, you know, in my head I wouldn't have thought like, okay, I did anything wrong. If you want to make something better with your friend, like if you really care, you're going to apologize. Like, you feel me? So I would have apologized, but she didn't apologize. She said she wasn't taking accountability, which is basically telling me that you don't think that this is your fault at all, which is further feeding into the fact that I already think that you're delusional. So after she told me no again for the second time, I walked out. As I was walking out of the room, I was like, all right, bet, so it's nothing else we need to talk about. And I had walked out, and before I had left the room, I was like, this is why I can't deal with y'all childish, immature, weird. And I had just left, and I had closed my door. I guess Jackie started crying or whatever. I heard her crying, and as she was leaving, she was like, come on, Smalls, like, let's just go, because you know how I get when it comes to this, like, da da da. So I don't know if she was like really genuinely hurt by what I said, or she was just angry, because you know how when some people are like angry, they start crying. That's me sometimes. From then, I just knew it was no coming back. Like, obviously I was the one to cut them off, but like all three situations was just weird, like just super weird. And yeah, that was the last time I had spoke to Jackie, and this was still in November. This was all in the first semester. So after the situation had happened, I had stopped sharing my location with Smalls November 17th, and then she had texted me November 18th saying she was leaving today, may I return, asking me to return her belongings. I think she was talking about her hot comb, because I was borrowing her hot comb at the time. and I never gave it back. But when she texted me this, I was on an airplane going back home for Thanksgiving. So when I had got off the plane, I had texted her back and I said I'm not home, and it never delivered. So I realized she blocked me. And then I had went to her Snapchat to text her, like, I forgot what I said because I don't have her on Snap no more, but I said something like, did you block me or something like that? I was trying to tell you that I wasn't home. She was like, yeah, I blocked you because I thought you blocked me. Because you know, when you in the airport, I mean in the air, like obviously you don't have no Wi-Fi or whatever, so I guess you thought I blocked her, but I didn't. And it was just, again, very childish of you to block me because you thought I blocked you. Like, it was just weird. And then December 17th, I had got a missed call from her, and I texted her a question mark to see what that was about and why you're calling me, but it never delivered again. So I realized she blocked me, but maybe she was talking about me to somebody, I don't know, because you called me. So that was all in first semester. After winter break or whatever, we got back in like late January. At this point, Belle had to move out, so she's no longer our roommate, and we had an empty room. We get back in January. All of a sudden, Minnie Mouse is coming to tell me that Smalls texted her and asking her over break if she said if Lydia would basically approve of Jackie moving into our free room. And it was just weird to me because it's like, again, this is part of like my whole issue. Like, why have you even had it? Why y'all irritated me in the first place? Why are you playing messenger with this girl, bro? Like, why do you feel the need to have to go to my friend and our other roommate to ask me a question if you want to move your best friend in? Like, I'm not, first of all, I don't know if you were just trying to be like considerate of my feelings or whatnot, even though you had me blocked, but it was just like, either which way, I'm not in charge of that. Like, it don't matter how I feel at the end of the day about Jackie moving in, because I'm not the leasing manager. Like, I'm not in charge of that, bro. Like, so anyway, she ended up getting approved and Jackie ended up moving in like January, the end of January. And so we've been living together from like January all the way up to, you know, May, when I had moved out. Well, when we had all moved out or whatever, because school was over. And yeah, we were living together. We were not speaking. None of us were speaking. So that's how it was for the last few months or whatever, the second semester. And to be honest, I barely seen Jackie. Like, even though she lived there, it was like she didn't. Like, I think she purposely made herself like just, you know, not there if she didn't have to be there, you know? Like, she was just barely there. And you know, because they didn't live far away, I guess she was just like spending most of the time at home or whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be there either. If I'm not talking to somebody, or if I have problems with my roommates, like, I don't want to be there. But you know, either which way, it didn't really matter to me. Like, nothing that had happened between us had made me feel any type of way, or nothing like that. And even when we had got back, me and Smalls had a little conversation when I had found out that she had texted Minnie Mouse that or whatever to ask me. I just wanted to sit down with her, and I basically explained to her, like, I don't understand why she keeps feeling the need to do that, you know? If you wanted to ask me something, you could ask me. Like, I'm not gonna hurt you, I'm not gonna bite you. She understood what I was saying. And yeah, we didn't really speak for the rest of the semester either, unless, like, you know, something like asking me if something was mine in the fridge or something like that, you know? Yeah, we didn't speak. Even though things ended off that way, if you are watching, if you did make it to the end, it's really no bad blood with anybody. Like, I don't hate anybody, I don't have a problem with nobody. Like, you know, everything happens for a reason. This was definitely a lesson learned, you know. And yeah, I just hope that everybody who was a part of this situation really grew from it. Honestly, I feel like y'all are both cool people until you weren't. And you know, hopefully you just have better experiences with other people. And yeah, on that note, we're just gonna wrap up this story time. I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure you tune into my next video, because I know that you know that it's a situation every time we together on Cenzo Nation, and that's on period. We out. Bye.